Hello everyone, I'm Jordan, otherwise known as Statik, and I'm here in DJM Manchester. I'm doing this video on behalf of Synthetic Pro Audio. So in front of me are two CDJ 3000s and a DJM S7 battle mixer. The DJM S7 is a 2-channel battle mixer compatible with both Serato and Rekordbox. As soon as you connect the mixer to the laptop, it has plug and play, unlocking Serato and Rekordbox licenses. All you have to do is just make sure you download the drivers and you're good to go. It has 20 by 25mm pads, a built-in USB hub for 2 connections, the new Magvel Fader Pro. It has a combo pad mode, which I utilised quite a lot during my routine. Has a clear hardware interface, an all-new loop MIDI function. It has Bluetooth 5.0 connectivity, which is perfect for looper apps such as Table Beats, for example. Pressing the button once will turn it on and pair it with the most recently paired device. If you press and hold the Bluetooth button, you'll put it into pairing mode, as you can see by the rapid flashing lights. One of the main functions I utilised when I did my routine was combo pad mode. Okay, so combo pad mode will allow me to use 2 pad modes simultaneously, but what I like about this is it allows you to split the 8 hot cues into different pad modes. So for example, if I hold hot cue and then roll, the top 4 become hot cues and the bottom will become roll ratios. So if I have something playing, okay, now this being a quarter beat ratio, this being an 8th beat ratio. Now you can change this as well, but I'm just going to do this now. I use this on snares. And then I use the reverb. Now this is pretty interesting because it adds a new dynamic to your routines. You can trigger hot cues and then do little loop rolls, and then if you have another hand free, then you could do stuff like filter sweeps, or you could add effects. Another one, which was pretty cool, was the Scratch Bank. Now with Scratch Bank, it allows you to load files quicker than it would do if you were, say, scrolling through your library using one of these. So what I did was, got Scratch Bank. Now you can have it set up in the settings and the utility and press through the pad modes, but another way of doing it is shift, then press the sampler button, and then this will go to Scratch Bank. Now if I haven't, say, loaded this file beforehand, you've got Scratch Bank set in here, and then you've got the file that you want to load. Now here I have another section of the routine where I had to load another file because I used all 8 hot cues on my previous one. So I'm going to press this, and then that loads the file onto the deck. If you do it on this side, it'll do it onto this deck as well. Then if you go on hot cue, you'll see the cue point buttons you've set on that particular file. Now this could be pretty interesting because say if you was loading a scratch file or a scratch record file, you will have hot cues on it, and then say if you were doing a DJ set, this would make it quicker for you to just quickly load a thing rather than having to go through your library using one of these. Now in a turntablism routine, for example, you would have to remember how many clicks this would go up or down usually, and if you miss it, it can mess the flow up or you could make massive mistakes. But that's solved. You just press shift, press that, and then just press the file you want to use, and then it loads onto that deck, then you're good to go. So another thing I found pretty interesting was the ability to launch hot cues and samples at the same time. So if I go hot cue, sample, you'll see here, bottom half samples and top half hot cues. Again, combo pad mode. But if I just trigger the samples, they're 1 bar each. Okay. Now if I press play, go through them. So kick, snare, and then 2 fills. Okay, so I trigger them both at the same time and differentiate it. So and then I do a fill at the end. But then I double time it. Now I didn't use this in my routine, but I found it was pretty cool, was the ability to launch one-shot samples using the effects paddles. So if I go shift and a MIDI, and you see this one is flashing here. Now if I press this paddle down, it'll launch this one. Again, launches this one again. Now if I move over one more, it fires the next sample bank. Now this could be pretty cool because you could differentiate it between pressing the pads and then triggering the paddles. Now moving to the CDJs, one of the major improvements I found was the jog wheel was a lot more responsive than on the 2000 Nexus 2. Not to take away from the 2000 Nexus 2, but this one feels like it's more suitable for scratching if you was to do so. Another thing I thought was useful was having all their 8 hot cues available on the unit. Now I didn't actually use the hot cues as I was using a Serato control tone, but this is because HID mode isn't available yet. But like I say, when I was practicing, it was useful to have the 8 hot cues on the unit, as previously you would have to go from bank A to bank B, and you would only have 4 hot cues available at any one time. Now what HID mode normally allows you to do is it maps features within Serato to CDJs, and it allows you to use them in, like, say, an internal mode. I could have just used Record Box, but I needed to use Serato in order to unlock features like Scratch Bank and other things on the actual mixer. So that includes my breakdown of my routine and also the functions I found useful on the S7 and the 3000s. Thank you for listening and watching.